Hello there, Riderflex Nation. Steve Urban here with more career advice and job interviewing tips for you. And as a quick reminder, if you enjoy our podcast, please remember to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes. And today, a conversation on whether or not you should tell a recruiter or a potential employer that you were fired from your last job, or for that matter, fired from any previous job. Should you confess? Should you tell the story? Here's my thoughts on the topic. If you were terminated because of a bad performance over time, let's say your prior company just eventually fired you for several months worth of just doing a bad job with several different areas, several different, areas of responsibility that you just, quite frankly, you messed them up and you didn't do a good job, and they have a whole bag worth of write-ups and performance documentation, and they finally just let you go. Would I share that story with a recruiter or a potential employer? No, I probably wouldn't. In fact, I'd probably say something like, you know what? That was a great run for me there. I've decided to move on with my life and find something different, and I'm looking forward to interviewing and working for you guys, and I'm super excited about that challenge. I'd probably say something general like that. I probably wouldn't go into the fact that I was terminated for a history of bad performance at my last job. Now, is that lying? Well, I don't know if we can classify it as lying. I think you're just somewhat dodging the question, so to speak, and concentrating on the fact that you want to work for the new company and you're super excited about that position. Now, there are cases where I might share that I was terminated, and I'll tell you what that is. If you made one critical error, let's say you were an exceptional employee for 3, 4, 5 years, great performance reviews, your boss loved you, but you made one error that was an automatic termination offense, and your boss had to let you go, didn't want to let you go, but they had to terminate you because you broke one of these critical rules, one-time mistake. Would I share that story? I probably would, because you're going to want them to call that former supervisor who will say great things about you, or call the former company and they'll probably speak to your stellar performance except for that one mistake. Folks, it actually applies to me personally. I can share a story with you. Back when I was 22 years old, that was a long time ago, by the way. Back when I was 22 years old, I was a manager at a convenience store just coming out of college. I did a great job. I was actually on my second store, had been promoted to my second store, was really just kicking butt. Sales were up, winning all kinds of contests, et cetera, et cetera. I made the mistake one time of getting into a heated argument on the sales floor with the police chief of the town that I lived in. It was over an employee that worked for me who happened to be his daughter. She did some things on a performance level that I corrected her on, and he decided to come to the store and, quote, coach me on it. That conversation didn't go well. He and I got into a pretty heated argument and probably said some things to him that I shouldn't have in a loud voice and using some bad words. Customers heard it. He reported me to the home office. Guess what? I was terminated. Boom, just like that. So it happens, right? There are cases where you could be a great employee and you had this one bad moment or this one bad mistake. I think in cases like that, you share the story. And I think the honesty around sharing the story will go a long, long way to the person interviewing you. It'll show good character. It did for me. I landed my next job pretty fast when I shared that honest story and said, I just messed up. I learned a lot from it. Looking forward to my next adventure. Boom, I got hired. So there's my thoughts on the topic overall of whether or not you should share the fact that you were terminated from a previous job. And that is your Riderflex tip of the day. We truly hope you find our material helpful and entertaining. And while our podcast can be heard across most platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud, you can become a supporter of this podcast by visiting our show on the platform Anchor FM. That's anchor.fm/Riderflex. You can also send us your questions or suggested topics for future episodes to the email address podcast@riderflex.com, or drop us a voicemail at 888-964-5876, extension 710. Visit riderflex.com to learn more about us. Thanks so much for listening, folks, and have a great day.